Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, my name is Marta, and here on Bottega Zero Waste I share my tips on how you can live more zero waste with less. I'm so excited about today's video. It is by far the #1 requested videos that I've had for the past months, if not year, if not ever in the world, and it's about how you can make a shampoo bar. The reason why it took me a little while to share this video with you is not because I was trying to withhold some information, but it's because literally making a shampoo bar requires quite a lot of research and it can be quite tricky to nail a good recipe. As I talked about in my previous video, there are some shampoo bars that are made using the cold process method, so just like a soap, and I do not recommend you use those. They're not really suitable for hair care. While there are other shampoo bars that are made with mild detergents, which have a balanced pH and are suitable for hair care. So I've decided to create this recipe, which is very simple to follow and has been tailored for a beginner, which you might be. If you want to learn more about the difference between shampoo bars, I have linked here the video in which I talk about this. Okay, without further ado, let's just get into the recipe. The recipe is divided into 3 main categories of ingredients: cleaning, detoxifying, and moisturizing, making this shampoo bar suitable for most hair types. We will use 2 naturally derived eco-friendly surfactants, sodium cocoyl isethionate, which is our main ingredient, and cocamidopropyl betaine is our liquid detergent. Because these 2 ingredients have a very different nature, they balance each other out, contributing to a milder product. Next, we will add a mildly cleaning natural powder. For this recipe, you have the option to use either soap nuts or shikakai. Both of these 2 powders contain natural saponins, so they will contribute to add lather and cleaning action to the shampoo while adding shine protection and also thickening our shampoo bar. If you want, you could also do a mix of these 2 powders. If you don't have the powdered version of soap nuts, you could use the nuts and grind them very finely in a food processor. If you don't have any of these powders, check out my blog post linked below to find more substitution ideas. Our detoxifying part is composed by bentonite clay, which has got amazing purifying and scalp soothing properties. The clay will also help thicken and harden our shampoo bar. If you don't have bentonite clay, you can swap it with any other clay you have. The result might be different, so again, check out my blog post for more guidelines. We will also include essential oils, which not only will give a wonderful scent to your shampoo, but will also add beneficial properties to your hair. I chose a blend of eucalyptus and tea tree essential oils for their antibacterial and antifungal properties. The last section of ingredients will be made up by cocoa butter and a nourishing oil of your choice. I chose jojoba. Cocoa butter is super moisturizing and hair softening and will make our shampoo bar also hard. You know, it's a solid shampoo, so we want it to be solid and hard. Jojoba is actually not an oil, but a liquid wax, which is very similar to our scalp sebum, so it's very hydrating and doesn't cause our pores to clog. Last but not least, we will add an eco-preservative. Even if our shampoo bar doesn't contain water, it will constantly get in contact with water, so we want to avoid any bacteria from forming. It is so important to add an eco-friendly preservative, and this is something I do not recommend skipping on. We will not need many tools for this recipe, but just a heat-resistant Pyrex glass container or even stainless steel container, 1 tablespoon, a scale, and a flexible silicone mold. When handling shea powder, I really recommend wearing a mask or covering your mouth with something, or at least holding your breath. The shea powder is super fine and it could get dispersed in the air super easily. It's kind of like dust, so if you breathe it in, it will be quite irritating. You don't necessarily need gloves, but I find them handy, especially towards the end when we are pouring the shampoo into the mold. As a first step, we will begin by wetting our shea powder. Again here, just be careful not to make the powder fly around, so I recommend placing it down slowly to the bottom of our beaker with a spoon. Next, we will add the cocamidropropyl betaine and mix the two together. Once we have the two mixed together, you will have no powders flying around anymore. Next, we will also add our jojoba, our soap nut powder or shikakai powder, and our bentonite clay. And again, mix everything well with a tablespoon. On a side note, I recommend using a wooden spoon when handling bentonite clay, which I'm clearly not doing here, but I've learned that due to the clay's charge, it's best not to use stainless steel. At this stage, we will put our beaker on a water bath and then add the cocoa butter, which is what will add those extra nourishing and hardening properties to our shampoo bar. Let it melt for a few minutes at very low heat, mixing every now and then. Once the cocoa butter has fully melted, we will take the beaker off the heat and mix everything together really well. At this stage, after the shampoo bar has cooled down a little and it's not as hot, we will add our essential oils, followed by our preservative. The last step is to add the shampoo bar mixture into our mold. Make sure that the mold is clean and sanitized. You can wear a pair of gloves if you wish, and start adding the mix into the mold by pressing with your spoon, so to create a base for your shampoo and avoid air bubbles as much as possible. The last thing to do is to let the shampoo bar dry out and harden. I like to pop it into the freezer for about an hour or leave it to harden overnight. In general, the longer you wait for the bar to dry out, the longer it will last for. I recommend a hardening time frame is normally a week, although I can never wait for that long. And here is the lather test. Fluffy, large bubbles which are not at all drying thanks to the skin-loving jojoba and cocoa butter. That was quite easy, wasn't it? Well, let me know what you think about the recipe in the comments below. I really hope you will like it. If you want to learn more about how shampoo and conditioner bars are formulated, make sure to visit the link in the description box below. If you're curious about zero waste living and would like to follow me on my journey, I share a lot of day-to-day zero waste living tips and tricks over my Instagram page at Bottega Zero Waste. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and again I will see you next week with a new recipe.